What if I told you that silence speaks louder than affection, and the right message at the right moment can live in her mind for days? Not because you're chasing her, but because you've mastered the art of presence without pressure. Here's the truth. Most men text to fill space, but a Stoic man, he texts to plant mystery, clarity, and inner calm seeds. These aren't pickup lines. These are mirrors that reflect your power and her curiosity. You might be replaying past conversations, wondering what you should have said, or if you said too much. You're stuck between wanting to reach out and not wanting to seem desperate. This is your edge, learning to say less but mean more. In this video, I'll show you 7 message templates built on Stoic philosophy, crafted to be simple yet unforgettable. So if you're ready to turn overthinking into impact, hit the like button, subscribe and turn on notifications. And drop a comment below. I speak from strength, not from need. Number 1. Texting from power. How Stoic men create irresistible attraction. Most men text from a place of need, chasing replies, over-explaining, trying to impress. But the man who texts from centeredness stands apart. He's not seeking attention, he's extending energy, on his terms. That shift changes everything, because when texting isn't about validation, it becomes about influence. Let's break down the first secret. Calm, unpredictable energy. Instead of texting cliches like "How was your day?" he drops a subtle mystery. "I had the strangest thought about you, but it's better in person." No over-investment, just intrigue. He's not asking her to respond, he's giving her a reason to want to. And most importantly, he doesn't obsess over her reply. Why? Because he's not texting to get something, he's texting from a full cup. That's Stoicism in action. Control what you can, your words, and release what you can't, her reaction. Next, lead with strength, not emotion. Instead of blurting, "I miss you," he anchors emotion in presence. "Passed by our old spot today. Funny what stays with you." This doesn't scream need, it resonates. He's not reactive, he's reflective. And that subtle shift builds trust. Third secret, the power of silence. A Stoic man doesn't text just to fill a void. He lets space work for him. No double texts, no waiting she delays. Because silence, when held with composure, is louder than any desperate message. It makes her wonder, what's he doing? Why hasn't he followed up? That curiosity, that's where attraction starts. Fourth, detach from outcome. You send the message, then you go live your life. No refresh, no spiral, because emotional independence is felt through tone and timing. When you stop waiting, she starts noticing. Then comes create space for her to reach out. If she's slow to reply, don't chase. You stay in your rhythm. Let her feel the vacuum. Let her feel your absence. It's not passive, it's disciplined. And the discipline makes your attention rare, and rarity builds desire. Secret 6. Make her work for your attention. Tease, don't dump. There's something I could tell you, but I'll wait till next time. Let her lean in. Let her earn it. You're not being difficult. You're being valuable. Value never throws itself on the table. Finally, confidence over clinginess. You text when you choose, not when you feel anxious. You don't scroll, check, obsess. You own your time, your energy, your tone. Because texting is not about winning her over. It's about representing your energy correctly. That's the Stoic texting frame. You are not a performer. You are a presence, and she feels it when you text from your center, not your craving, and she craves you back. Name comment below. I don't text for attention, I text from intention. Number 2. Message from stillness. When you say less, she feels more. What you don't say is just as powerful as what you do. That's the paradox most men miss in texting. They over-communicate, over-explain, and overstay their welcome in the conversation. But the Stoic man, he understands the art of strategic silence and emotional detachment. Desire is born in that space. Let's dive into the power of not needing a reply. This mindset alone will transform how you message. Imagine this. You send a short, clever message, then leave your phone. You don't wait, you don't reread, you don't check if she's online. Why? Because you didn't text to get, you texted to express. And when expression is complete, there's nothing left to do. This is where the echo effect comes in. Your silence isn't emptiness, it's weight. She expects men to follow up, double text, react. You don't. That breaks her pattern. And what's unfamiliar becomes intriguing. She starts wondering, not because of manipulation, but because of energy imbalance. She gave nothing, and you didn't chase. Now she's left in the void you created. Next, the art of not filling space. You don't force a joke when the conversation dies. You don't say lol to seem light-hearted. You don't keep texting because she hasn't yet. Instead, you disappear like fog at sunrise. Quiet, soft, and noticeable only once it's gone. That absence, it lingers, and it makes your next message feel earned, not expected. Another key, don't react to her pace. If she's slow to respond, your rhythm stays the same. No emotional spike, no hey, everything okay. That kind of emotional neutrality, it's attractive. It tells her, you're not my center, I am. That's rare, and rare creates value. Now, apply selective mystery. Instead of texting, want to hear something crazy, say, I realize something about you today, but it can wait. You're not begging attention, you're inviting imagination. Let her message be the one that opens the door, not your follow-up. And when she does, keep it minimal. Let her come closer. From the Stoic frame, this is discipline in digital form. You don't need results. You don't crave attention. You text when it feels aligned. You stop when it doesn't. And you never forget. Your value isn't in your words. It's in your restraint. Most men drown in the noise. The Stoic man, he speaks like thunder, but only when needed, and the rest of the time his silence echoes in her mind. Now comment below. I let my silence speak louder than their noise. Number 3. The detachment principle. Why she chases when you let go. There's a truth most men never accept. The moment you stop waiting for her reply, you gain the upper hand. Not in a manipulative way, but in energetic positioning. When your messages are free from expectation, they become liberating for you and, paradoxically, irresistible to her. This is the Stoic art of emotional detachment. It doesn't mean apathy, it means freedom from need. You don't need her to reply to feel validated. You don't need a specific outcome to feel worthy. Your message is an expression, not a fishing hook. Let's look at the mindset. You text, then you return to your focus. Gym, business, reading, silence. Your day moves forward whether she replies in 2 minutes or 2 days. And that kind of energy, it doesn't repel women, it fascinates them. Because most men are predictable, you're not. Here's the trick. She feels what you feel when you hit send. She'll sense if you're anxious, desperate, or hoping to restart a dead conversation. But if you're light, detached, and centered, that calm gets transmitted, even through a screen. Detachment also makes you play the long game. If she doesn't reply, you don't spiral. You don't chase closure. You don't try to remind her how great the connection was. You simply accept reality, and that unshakable presence does more damage to her ego than 1,000 needy messages ever could. Now apply this to conversations. If she leaves you on read, you don't double back. If she gives short replies, you don't overcompensate. You let the energy fade. Why? Because you're not trying to control her, you're controlling yourself. That is the Stoic win. And here's where it flips. Her curiosity spikes when she senses you're no longer emotionally invested in the outcome. Your lack of need feels like power, because it is. Emotional wealth is when your fulfillment isn't tied to her response, when your life is already full and messages are optional. And in that freedom, you text less, mean more, and attract stronger. Don't fear silence. Don't beg for energy. Don't overthink the outcome. Instead, send the message, then walk away like a man with mountains to climb. No comment below. I don't chase, my energy speaks for me. Number 4. Create space. Let her come to you. In the world of modern communication, everyone is reacting. Notifications pop up and people rush to respond, fearing disconnection, fearing being forgotten. But here's the paradox. Those who create space are remembered more than those who constantly reach out, especially in dating. This is where the Stoic principle of strategic distance becomes powerful. When she doesn't reply immediately, don't panic. Don't interpret, don't chase. Instead, withdraw your energy with calm, not to punish, not to manipulate, but to protect your dignity. Because every time you stay still instead of reacting, you signal one thing: the uncertainty does not move me. That silence, when held with poise, isn't absence, it's tension, and tension creates attraction. Now, here's the twist. When you give her space, she starts to fill it. Not always with words, but with attention. She checks your profile. She rereads old texts. She wonders why you've gone quiet. And that wondering, that's emotional investment, without you lifting a finger. But most men destroy this power by interrupting the silence. They get anxious. They reach out too soon. And in doing so, they reveal their hand. I was waiting on you. And just like that, the frame is lost. The Stoic man doesn't chase attention. He values his own energy too much to give it away freely. He knows space is not distance, it's discipline, and that discipline builds mystery, and mystery is the fuel of romantic curiosity. Let's go further. When you consistently respect space, you become someone she doesn't feel pressured by, but also can't stop thinking about. Why? Because you don't demand attention, you attract it. Quietly. And when she returns, as she often will, your response is simple, neutral, grounded, warm, but never too eager. Why? Because you didn't miss her like a starving man misses food. You continued living. That's rare, and rare creates value. So next time she delays, don't react. Just remember, her silence isn't rejection, it's a test, and your stillness is the answer. No comment below. I use silence to lead, not to chase. Number 5, make her work for your attention, without saying a word. In a world where most men overgive, sharing too much, texting too often, making it all too easy, the Stoic man does the opposite. He doesn't withhold to play games, he withholds to protect value, because value, by definition, must be earned, not handed out. Enter the principle, let her work to get more of you. Instead of oversharing via text, give her just enough, a message like, something interesting happened today, I'll tell you when I see you. That's it. No extra details, no follow-up. And suddenly the attention shifts. She leans in, curiosity replaces comfort, and now she's the one investing. Here's the deeper truth. Attention that's freely given is quickly taken for granted. That's why the more you message to keep things going, the faster she emotionally checks out. You've removed all mystery. You've handed her the prize without the process. But when you create friction, small intentional gaps between her curiosity and your response, you create emotional investment, not through manipulation, but through restraint. You're signaling, I don't need to be known all at once, and I don't need to be available on demand. And this drives one core emotion, desire. Why? Because desire is built on tension, not certainty. When you always reply fast, explain everything and fill in all the gaps, there's no space for her mind to wander. But when you leave room, her thoughts begin circling you. She replays your words. She wonders what you meant. She anticipates the next message. This isn't about coldness. It's about composure. You're not being distant. You're being discerning. You share but with timing. You reveal but with pacing. And by doing so, you create something most men can't: emotional suspense. The Stoic man doesn't rush to deliver satisfaction. He lets curiosity grow. He allows mystery to breathe. And because of that, when he does share and open up, it lands harder, deeper, stronger. So never fear being hard to get. Fear being too easy to forget. No comment below. My attention is rare because my energy is valuable. Number 6. Message with intent, not emotion. The calm that captivates. There's a major difference between a man who texts because he wants to and a man who texts because he needs to. One is centered, the other is reactive. And whether she realizes it consciously or not, she can feel the difference. That's where Stoic texting separates you from 99% of men. You don't message out of boredom. You don't reach out because of anxiety. You message from intention, not impulse. You're not trying to be entertaining, expressing something authentic, grounded and calm. This begins with a simple principle. Never let texting define your emotional rhythm. She doesn't reply, you don't flinch. She sends a dry message, you don't overanalyze. Why? Because your internal state isn't tethered to her response. You're already stable. Here's how that looks in practice. You don't constantly check your phone. Why? Because you have things to do. You don't send just thinking of you at 1 a.m. out of loneliness. You hold the line. You don't chase a vibe, you create your own, and she enters your rhythm if she's lucky. When you respond, it's measured, it's purposeful, and it carries the calm weight of a man who's grounded in himself. You're not loud, you're certain, and that certainty becomes addictive. Remember, texting is never about the message itself, it's about the energy behind it. If you text from craving, your words reek of need. If you text from presence, they land with power. And this is the real secret. When you stop messaging to seek a reaction, you start messaging in a way that pulls one naturally. You're no longer trying to control her interest. You're simply offering energy that commands attention. This makes every message feel like a choice, not a plea. Every response becomes an extension of self-worth, not self-doubt, and over time she begins to associate you with peace. That's rare, and rare is unforgettable. So the next time you feel the urge to message out of emotion, pause, recenter, ask yourself, am I sending this to connect or to calm my insecurity? If it's the latter, wait. Let your phone reflect your discipline. Let your words reflect your strength. Now comment below, I text with clarity, not craving. Number 7. The Stoic textbook philosophy. Your words reflect your power. Ultimately, it's not about the perfect message, it's about the man behind it. You can say something clever, mysterious, even seductive, but it will collapse if it comes from a place of need. That's why Stoic texting isn't a strategy, it's a standard, a reflection of who you are. Let's bring it full circle. When you text from calm, stillness and purpose, you stand out. Because most men text for approval. They fish for attention, praise and connection. But you already have connection with yourself. That's what makes you different. All 7 Stoic secrets lead to one unshakable truth. Breathe before you text. Say less, but mean more. Let silence speak when needed. Detach from her response. Let her earn your attention. Never let emotion dictate action. Text like a man who owns his time and his energy. These aren't tactics, they're traits. Traits that show her you're not trying to win her. You're inviting her into a world of masculine presence, grounded in your own sense of value. Here's what happens when you live this way. She starts texting first. She mirrors your rhythm. She becomes curious, then invested, and she starts to feel something she rarely feels with men. Safe, seen, and drawn in without pressure. And even if she doesn't respond, you're unshaken, because your peace is not up for negotiation. Your energy was never dependent on hers. That's the Stoic edge, not in pretending to care less, but in genuinely needing less, not from arrogance, but from alignment, from a deep inner truth that says, I am already whole. I offer connection, but I do not beg for it. So next time you pick up the phone to text, remember this. Your message isn't just words. It's an extension of your essence. Let it reflect the calm, controlled, centered man you've become. Now comment below, my words reflect my worth. They don't beg for hers. You started this video looking for the right words. What you found was something far more powerful, the right intention. Each message wasn't about winning her over. It was about revealing who you are when you're not seeking validation. When you speak from clarity, not craving. That's the Stoic edge. You don't chase her thoughts, you shape them with calm, with timing, with self-control. She doesn't remember you because you flooded her inbox. She remembers you because you said something once, and it echoed. So if you're done texting from insecurity and ready to start texting from grounded confidence, like this video, subscribe and comment. She'll remember me, not because I begged, but because I vanished wisely. Stand tall, type less, mean more. Because true attraction doesn't scream, it lingers.